online, Jim. And
Okay.
LTTV's ready to go.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This meeting is being held remotely as a meeting with a quorum of the public body physically present is not practical or prudent due to the state's declaration of a disaster due to the impacts of COVID-19. So we all rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Does everybody feel that's kind of weird?
A little bit.
Hopefully soon. Okay, Megan, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Kucera?
Present.
Trustee Lautner?
Here.
Trustee Zora?
Here.
Trustee Seidel?
Here.
Trustee Council?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
President Scipio?
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Moving on, public participation. Anyone care to address the board? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's move on then. Consent agenda, Megan?
So I have a clarification to make on the minutes. Do I do that now?
Wait till we get through with the consent agenda. We will make them afterwards. You want to make them afterwards, Kath?
No, if she has something to say about the minutes, you have to remove that from the consent agenda and then discuss it separately under the admin committee.
What item, Karen? Trustee.
It's the minutes from the November 24th meeting.
Okay.
It's just it's a sentence about my involvement with District 102 School Board. I was not a member of the District 102 School Board, so that needs to be what?
We can't discuss this during the consent agenda. You have to bring it up separately during the administration part of the meeting or wherever Jim would like to call that.
Okay, thanks, Kathy.
So all you say right now, Karen, is that you need item A1 removed from the consent agenda.
Okay, I need item A1 removed from the consent agenda. Thank
Okay,
you.
and we'll place it under the administration report. Trustee Seidel?
Okay, great. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Trustee Seidel. Okay, go ahead, Megan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 2, village board meeting, December 8th, 2020. 3, executive session meeting, December 8th, 2020. 4, village board work session, January 12th, 2021. B, action, Memorial Park multi-use court project, TIF funding. Motion to adopt an ordinance of the Village of LaGrange Park, Cook County, Illinois, approving reimbursement for a redevelopment project in the Village Market redevelopment project area for the Memorial Park multi-use court project. C, action, motion to authorize the president and chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the checks registered. D, action, motion to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next village board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Thank you, Megan. I'd like a motion to approve the consent agenda, moving A1 to administration and approving the rest of the consent agenda. So moved.
Second.
Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Kucera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Before we move on, the board understands and knows that last meeting we voted to support the Park District's multi-use or multi-use court project at Memorial Park. They went before the zoning board the other night, and Jessica's with us tonight. Jessica, do you want to provide the board with welcome? Thank you for attending, and do you want to give the board an update?
Sure. Thank you, President DeCipio. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. On behalf of the Community Park District Board of Commissioners and our staff, I truly want to thank the Village Board for your support and investment in the future health and well-being of the residents of the Grange Park. We are very, very excited for this project for a multitude of reasons. This is the first improvement project that is actually prioritizing sustainable landscaping and the native diversification that is essential to the overall ecological and environmental and long-term health of LaGrange Park. The renovated area will bring exciting new active recreational opportunities for people of all ages and all abilities. Children will have more frequent opportunities to see adults participating in fun activities, workouts, and role modeling a healthy lifestyle. And everyone in our community will benefit from increased multi-generational interactions. Businesses such as Fruitful Yield, Wheel Thing, and Panera will see increased exposure to their target markets, which are people and individuals invested in a healthy lifestyle. We plan to break ground in April, and by the end of this summer, LaGrange Park will have joined one of the largest community health movements in the nation. Our residents will have free access to the best outdoor gym in the United States. Memorial Park will be home to 3 brand new dedicated pickleball courts, and families will be able to enjoy new playground activities such as tetherball and gaga ball. With your support, the support of many residents and individual businesses, and the generosity of Strive for Fitness, we truly are laying the foundation for a more active and healthy community. So thank you again for your support.
And thank you, Jessica. We're anxious for this project to get underway, and we're glad that we're participants in it, getting a lot of press. I have to inform the board that the other day, Jessica, Julia, Rick, and I met with a young resident who's applying and going for his Eagle Scout award. And they have to do a project in the village, so the 4 of us met, and I have to tell you, I know the work ethic of Rick, and I know the work ethic of Julia, but our park district is in good hands, and Jessica, it's a pleasure working with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any trustees have any questions for Jessica?
Mr. President, I don't have any questions, but I'd like to make a comment.
Certainly, Trustee Casera.
Thank you, sir. To be able to lead the commercial revitalization committee, the things we're seeing with folks like Posto, the 7-Eleven, other places, I'm truly proud of what this board has accomplished the last 8 years. Now with the Park District, this is a tremendous piece, and I think I said it at the last board meeting, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But we have so many great young people moving into the community, investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in our community for their homes, and older residents that are going to truly utilize this and be able to take advantage of it. So I'm proud of the Park District. I'm proud of our village board, and truly look forward to seeing this community continue.
Thank you for your comments, Trustee Casera. I'm frozen. Everybody okay?
Yes.
Thanks for all your hard work. Okay, moving on. Village Manager, Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I have a couple of updates to provide you this evening. The first is regarding an update for the recruitment of the new assistant village manager. The village has extended an offer to its top candidate, and that person has accepted. And she is confirmed to start with the village, with her first day being February 16th. And we are very excited to soon welcome Maggie Jar to our team. We will be releasing more information about Maggie in the coming days. I did speak with her on Friday, and she expressed that she is very much looking forward to starting her new position here at the village. So that's exciting news. Another update that I have are just a couple of elements with regard to COVID-19. The first update is that on January 23rd, our region that we're in, Region 10, which is also known as Suburban Cook County, transitioned to Tier 1, allowing for limited indoor dining. And staff will continue to keep an eye on the data and keep the information and the updates posted on the village's website. So that information has been shared with our residents. Another update is regarding vaccines. The village continues to receive phone calls from residents on the status of the availability of vaccines. On Monday, we transitioned to the 1B tier for vaccines, and this expansion to 1B essentially includes members of the general public who are aged 65 years and older, and it also includes essential workers such as police, firefighters, and other essential workers such as manufacturing and grocery store employees. And concurrent to the transition to 1B, the county, Cook County, updated its website to provide for a community vaccination page. This is a way for those interested in the vaccine to sign up. So in the communications that came out from Cook County as well as from the state, the emphasis was made that while the vaccination program is underway for this next tier, at this time, as we have all heard very well, that the demand for the vaccine far outpaces the supply. So officials are really encouraging patients with this process. And also they emphasize that an appointment is necessary to receive the vaccine. So a couple of points that are important to mention, because again, we are getting phone calls on this information. The first point is Cook County has created this community website sign-in page. A link to that community website page for the vaccine is available on the village's website. We also sent it out through e-briefs this week. So if you go onto that website, you can fill out the information, be patient. If you don't get through, just keep trying until you get that registration. If residents do not have access to the website because they don't have a computer, there is a vaccine hotline. And that number is 1-833-308-1988. And this hotline is available to residents from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if you don't get through on this number, I tried 3 times today. The first 2 times I couldn't get through. Third time I did get through. If you don't get through, just keep trying. If you have to leave a voicemail, leave a voicemail. Again, there are many folks eligible under Phase 1B, so we just have to remain patient as the vaccines are made available to the public. The last item I wanted to report on was regarding the status of Village Hall being open for foot traffic because of the transition to the Tier 1. Village Hall, staff is preparing to open Village Hall to foot traffic starting on Monday, and we will have modified hours from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The modified hours allow for staff to maintain a clean environment for residents to come to Village Hall to render their services and get the help that they need from the village. So a lot of information tonight. I just wanted to make sure it was out there because we were getting calls on the vaccine information. The information is posted on the village's website. We're keeping that up to date, and as things change, we'll keep those updates coming. And with that, unless if there are any questions, that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Julie. I do have one comment. I know how hard you worked and staff worked on filling this assistant village manager's position. And I know that you had a couple quality candidates and you struggled a little bit, but you came up with the best candidate, I'm sure. So we're anxious for her to come in and start working with us, and we're anxious to meet her. But again, kudos for the selection, kudos for the amount of work that you guys put in to get there.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for saying that. I am completely remiss in extending my thank you to staff. They were very much involved in the vetting process, reviewing resumes. I'm greatly appreciative for all the time and all the effort that they put on it. So, put towards the effort. So, thanks for mentioning that.
Great. Thank you, Julia. Okay, Administration Committee, Trustee Seidel.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's 3 items on the administration report for this evening. Village offices will be closed on Monday, February 15th in observance of the President's Day holiday. Regular office hours will resume on Tuesday, February 16th at 9 a.m. Next is the HELP program. Winter can be a particularly challenging time for some of our elderly and disabled residents. Please consider signing up for our HELP program. The program matches community volunteers with residents in need of assistance. When someone needs help with tasks like mowing, snow removal, or brush clearing, the village provides them to a list of individuals who have indicated a willingness to be contacted and have signed up for the HELP program. The residents needing assistance contact volunteers directly. To sign up, please call Village Hall at 708-354-0225 or email sbakalik@lagrangepark.org. Next item is community e-brief. The village would like to encourage residents to stay connected with what is happening in LaGrange Park by signing up for the community e-brief, our weekly electronic newsletter that is emailed out each Friday. The village currently has over 2,200 subscribers. Residents may sign up for e-briefs by going to the homepage of the village website at www.lagrangepark.org. That concludes the report. There is one item tonight, and that is the minutes that were removed from the consent agenda. And I will turn that over to Trustee Console for her comments.
It's just a point of clarification from Megan in the to reflect in the minutes. In the paragraph where President DeCipio introduced me, it says Ms. Console had been a member of the Planning and Zoning Board, which is correct, but I was not on the District 102 School Board, and I'd like to make that clarification simply because that is an elected position. I served on many ad hoc committees, but I was never an elected school board member. So if we could just get that reflected, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. And nothing further, Mr. President.
Yep, I'm going to make the changes. Thanks for pointing it out.
Okay. Thanks, Megan.
I think we have to vote on
To approve those minutes as amended.
Okay, so we're removing the part of Karen being on the school board. So I'd like a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
The minutes. Yeah.
Second.
Second.
Second. Megan, any other discussion? Trustee Council, seeing none. Megan, call the roll.
No.
Sure. Trustee Casera,
Yes.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Seidel,
Yes.
Trustee Console,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Trustee Seidel.
Mr. President, I had just one point of clarification, for lack of a better phrase. In this evening's packet, there are 2 reports from each of the committees, one for November, one for December. In past January meetings, we've sometimes made a decision to read just the most recent report. In other cases, both reports were read aloud. But I just wanted to note that for you in case if you wanted to, the board would like to consider direction on reading one or both of the reports.
Okay, trustees. So Julia's suggestion is anyone that has 2 reports, December and January, would be November, December, and January, reads the latest report. And I think one of the trustees asked if that was appropriate to do, and yes, it is. Thank you, Julia. Okay, Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to read the building department activities for December of 2020. 68 permits were issued in December compared to 48 last December. The number of permits issued for calendar year in 2020 were 1,015 compared to 868 issued last year in 2019. Estimated construction costs for the month were $1,352,487, which is about $150,000 less than that of December 2019. Estimated construction costs for the calendar year were up somewhat at $14.5 million compared to just over $13 million in the calendar year of 2019. Permit fees collected for December 2020 were significantly less compared to 2019. They were $27,349 compared to just over $45,000. This is mostly due to 2 permits for new homes being issued in December 2019. Permit fees collected for calendar year 2020 were slightly up compared to 2019, $347,539 in 2020 compared to just over $335,000 in 2019. 150 inspections were conducted in December compared to 68 in 2019. 2 were not approved. Inspections conducted for calendar year 2020 were 1,528 compared to 1,332 in 2019. Inspections not approved in 2020 were 89 as compared to 84 in 2019. At the end of December, Amusement Park had to close, which the owner stated was due in part to COVID and people not needing dog daycares while at home. The building has been listed for sale as well, and staff met with a potential new owner who anticipates opening a new brewery on site. Also during the month, staff met with a prospective new tenant at Plaza 31 who is interested in opening a unique, small, and casual cafe dining space. The concrete curb work for the parking lot at the plaza was also completed with plans to finish the entire parking lot in the spring. Plans are moving forward for a new monument sign and potential small outdoor patio area. Overall, throughout this past year, the building department staff remained very busy handling a strong number of permits and building inspections, all during COVID, while also implementing the new building and permit software program. That is all I have to report.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Engineering Capital Projects Committee, Trustee Laudner, would you please give the report?
I would be happy to. Thank you, Mr. President. From the Engineering Capital Projects area for the month of December 2020, 3 items to report on. First, the 2020 sewer lining project. Phase 2 has started. Visual Sewer of Illinois started by televising the designated sewers to be lined in order to determine the locations of the sewer service laterals and confirming the length of the sewer. They will then insert and cure the flexible liner to create a smooth and durable repair. Each service line connection will then be cut open to reestablish flow from the property. Work is expected to be completed in January. Second item is design work for the Park Road water main project is continuing. The project involves replacing the existing 6-inch water main with an 8-inch water main between Ogden Avenue and Harding Avenue. The scope of work entails reconnecting all water services to the new main, replacing disturbed sidewalks, driveways, and curbs, restoring the parkways, and patching the street. And third and last item in this area is preliminary work has begun for the 2020 sewer cleaning and televising project, Phase 2. After completion, the contractor will provide videos and data logs of all the sewers inspected. The information will be reviewed to determine if any sections of the sewers need point repairs or are good candidates for sewer lining. And that concludes the reports from the engineering and capital projects this evening, Mr. President.
And thank you for giving that, Trustee Lautner. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Council. Turn off your mute, Karen. Please, Trustee Council, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Sorry.
There you go.
The total number of crimes reported in 2020 are higher than those that were reported in 2019, with 479 reported in 2020 compared to 316 in 2019. This significant increase is predominantly related to the most recent rash of fraudulent unemployment claims that we classify under identity theft. The agency has taken 118 reports since October of 2020, in addition to 202 theft reports in November and December of 2020, mostly related to items taken from unlocked or unsecured vehicles. Overall, police activity was at 7,545 incidents throughout the calendar year, compared to 8,700 in the calendar year 2019. Traffic enforcement and citations ended the year at 3,000, which includes parking, compliance, local ordinance, and state-issued citations. The number of contacts that the police department has had with juvenile offenders in 2020 remains stagnant. The LaGrange Park Police Department will continue to utilize a multitude of programs throughout the year to assist with juvenile matters. Some of those programs consist of the Adopt a Cop program, youth outreach services, the Child Advocacy Center, and President's Health Care Social Services Division, to name a few. The police department continues to contract a part-time police social worker through President's Health to assist us in following up with incidents that involve domestic issues, elder care, juvenile runaways, and mental health issues. Excuse me. Many special event and community-based programs will hopefully continue in 2021, pandemic pending. The National Night Out, Shop with a Cop, Citizens Police Academy, Coffee with the Police Department staff, along with many more programs, are eagerly waiting to get going after being placed on hold. Please follow the police department on the Facebook page at the LaGrange Park Police Department or on Twitter and Instagram. That concludes the police report, Mr. President. And you're saying the December 2020 is accurate, that that's sufficient?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Trustee Council.
So this is the fire department activities report for December. There were 129 EMS incidents during the month of December. Overall, there were 1,558 incidents for the year compared to 1,514 in 2019. There were 35 fire rescue incidents this month. Overall, there were 498 incidents for the year compared to 587 in 2019. During the month, several EMS personnel obtained their first vaccination for COVID at LaGrange and Loyola Hospitals. Staff trained virtually for part of the month, which included refresher training by Mavis Division 10 in regards to their policies and operations. The Fire Department Foundation held their annual Board of Directors meeting. Of note was an approval of the 2021 budget. The Foundation's fundraising letter was sent out. Both the Foundation and Foreign Fire Insurance Board have both contributed throughout the year to various projects and purchases of equipment. The Santa Parade and food drive took place on December 19th, with residents donating a large amount of food for local pantries. The participation was so great that it slowed down our parade a bit, which ended up taking 2 hours and 45 minutes to complete the route. A great deal of thanks goes out to the residents and all village staff and departments who helped with the event. It was organized in less than 2 weeks, so it's pretty spectacular. They delivered 2 pickup trucks in a minivan full of food to the St. Francis Food Pantry and 5 pickup trucks of food to Beds Plus. The Fire Department Foundation held its annual holiday breakfast for families, but obviously with COVID, this year was a drive-up event. On December 3rd, on Thursday, December 3rd at 5:30, the engine and the chief went to assist in Brookfield with a house fire in the 3800 block of Cleveland. The engine arrived quickly, and the personnel went to the second floor to assist the initial Brookfield crew with hose line and attacking the fire in the attic of the house. That concludes the report for the month of December for the fire department. Thank you.
Trustee Council, your first report, great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. If I might kick it off by saying nice job by our Public Works crews, as usual, under Director Ratty's leadership. Started Friday with the pre-treating all the way through this afternoon. Our roads look great. A couple new families have moved into the area, and they were amazed at how much attention that the roads got. So kudos to staff. Hopefully everybody's at home getting much-deserved rest tonight. For December 2020, leaf season was completed. Public Works repaired 4 water main breaks ranging in size from 6 to 10 inch and replaced 1 water service. Public Works participated in the, along with other village departments, in the holiday parade. As previously mentioned, it was a huge success. Community shined brighter than the holiday lights, and this definitely, hopefully, will go forward in the future. Public Works entered into winter operations, the season's first snow event. Crews worked in shifts, plowing and salting roadways to maintain safe and passable road conditions, as they always do. Visu Sewer is prepping, previously mentioned, for the sewer lining in town, which was completed, looks like, in December. Water meters were read in Section 3. 15 monthly bacterial samples were taken. Various water and sewer work orders were completed, along with resident tree concerns and general constructive inquiries. Numerous water and sewer service calls were completed, along with meter appointments and Julie locates. A number of street repairs were made, and permanent patching looked like it was completed. Routine maintenance of the department fleet and equipment was also performed, along with police and fire vehicles. A couple action items, Mr. President. 2021 Sewer Repair Program Engineering Agreement. Purpose is an engineering service agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering Company. Right, for approval. Each year, the village contracts with a sewer cleaning and televising company to perform routine maintenance on the sewer system. After the program is complete, Hancock Engineering identifies locations of pipe segments that show signs of failure and are in need of repair. The village engineer, Edwin Hancock Engineering, will provide a professional engineering services, design and construction for the upcoming program in an amount not to exceed $20,000. Sewer O&M budget account 0544-2220. Staff recommends discussion and approval of the agreement between the village and Edwin Hancock Engineering. Therefore, Mr. President, make a motion to approve and authorize the village manager to execute agreement between the Village of LaGrange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for engineering services in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for design and construction engineering for the 2021 sewer main point repair program.
Second. The motion, give it a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion, Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. We do this each year to try and identify infrastructure that needs repair, Hancock has served us well in the past. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't approve this tonight.
Any other trustees have any comments? Trustee Council?
No, I'm just happy to see it going on. Thank you.
Trustee Casera?
Total agreement, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. You did it already, Trustee Segal?
I'm in full support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Trustee Zora?
This is critical to maintaining our infrastructure, so I'm obviously in full support. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lautner?
And I support it. Thank you.
Great. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Casera,
Yes.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Seidel,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you again, Mr. President. Staff is seeking the village board's approval to award a contract with Sewer Tech LLC for the 2021 sewer cleaning and televising program. According to contract specifications, the 2021 sewer cleaning and televising program will accomplish the cleaning and inspection of designated sewer pipes, which we have attachments. The described work will be performed by the contractor at various locations throughout the village under the supervision of the Public Works Director and the village engineer, Hancock Engineering. Sewer maintenance is mandated by the MWRD and performed annually by the village as a preventative maintenance measure. In March 2020, the village solicited bids from 4 companies that provide sewer services. 3 vendors submitted bids for this project. You see below, Sewer Tech LLC was the lowest at $18,898. National Power Rotting Corp, $23,309. Visu Sewer of Illinois, $28,832. In 2020, the village entered into a previous contract with Sewer Tech LLC for sewer services. Both the village engineer and the Public Works Director agree Sewer Tech provided the village a reliable service at a very competitive price. Their known service prompted the village engineer to inquire if Sewer Tech would hold their pricing and consider entering into a second contract with the village at the original bid price, to which they agreed. Staff reached out to Attorney Keating to ensure the village isn't required to rebid this project, to which she concurred. The fiscal year 2020-2021 budget includes $50,000 in the sewer fund under services 05-44-3-2 to clean and televise sewers. Staff recommends approval of a contract with Sewer Tech LLC in a not to exceed amount of $50,000 at tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, I'll make a motion to enter into a contract with Sewer Tech LLC for a not to exceed amount of $50,000, and 2, to authorize the village manager to execute the contract documents.
Motion and a second. Motion and a second. Ian, discussion?
I thought I did pretty good for that motion not being listed, but no, Mr. President, we had a good relationship with them last year, all part of continuing infrastructure improvements, and the price is outstanding, so I see no reason why we shouldn't approve this tonight.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Lautner?
I would just like to say thanks for working with them to hold the line on pricing and anticipating typical questions that might come forward. I fully support this.
Trustee Zora?
I echo what everyone said. It's great that they held their price. I'm in favor of it.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Trustee Segal?
I concur with everyone else's statements. I'm in full support of this.
Thank you, Trustee Segal. Trustee Casera?
Likewise, Mr. President.
And Trustee Council?
It's good that they held their line from last year, and I appreciate Rick's efforts. I remember when Visu Sewer was the only firm that did that scope of work So it's nice to see 3 bids that actually came in versus 1 bid. So thank you for all of your work, Rick.
Thank you, Trustee Council. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Casera,
Yes.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Seidel,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, Mr. President. Next, we'll do the alley water infrastructure extension. Edwin Hancock Engineering Agreement. Purpose is to approve an engineering service agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for design and construction engineering services for the alley water infrastructure extension for Murphy's Transmission and complete auto repair. The Village and Murphy's Transmission and complete auto repair entered into a redevelopment agreement on January 12th of this year. Section 3 of the document requires the village to extend its water infrastructure from Kemen proceeding west under the North Alley. The extension will provide a new water service connection point. Hancock Engineering will provide design, engineering, and construction management service for this project. Funds are available from the 31st Street Barnesdale TIF Fund. Staff recommends discussion and motion to approve an agreement between the village and Edwin Hancock Engineering Company at tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, make a motion to authorize the village manager to execute an agreement between the Village of Grange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for design and construction engineering services in a not-to-exceed amount of $9,000 for Murphy's Auto Water Service Project, 31st Street and Kemen Avenue.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, again, Hancock Engineering has served us well. This is very similar to what we did on the extension for Posto. I see no reason why we shouldn't approve this tonight. It's exciting times in the Grange Park.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Mark, did you want to make any comments before I move on to the other trustees?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, this is a much-needed project to allow Murphy's Auto to expand, which would be a great benefit to the village. So, yeah, we're excited to move forward with this.
Thank you, Mark. Rick, any additions?
No, I think it's a good project as well. Staff had lots of discussions on different ways that they could make some connections, and this is the best option out there, and it provides a future connection later date if we want to extend that as we have future planning way out. So I'm excited for it.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, Trustee Council.
I agree with what everybody has said, so I'm glad the project is moving forward.
Thank you, Trustee Casera.
Mr. President, I hate to repeat myself, but I do. I'm just so excited what's going on for Grange Park with our business community and our homeowners community with their families. Thank you.
And Trustee Casera, picking up on piggyback on that, our Achilles heel has been that vacant property for 16 years now. And hopefully the good Lord is looking down on us and something is happening. Do you guys feel the ground shaking over there?
Mr. President, I see it happening. I see it happening with the 7-Eleven, Posto, 31st Street with the street improvements and the water improvements. We're coming back there. And I really think we're going to get somebody in the, and hopefully think we're going to get somebody in the Pancake House property.
My point exactly.
I'm just so very, very positive with what's going on in this community and very much due to this village board.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. And I said that because we're all waiting for ice cream to happen over there. Jessica, we're gonna piggyback and make our way down from the ice cream shop down to the Memorial Park and work out. out after we have the ice?
Memorial Park with Jessica, Jim, or Dr. DeCipio or Mr. President. I'm sorry. I need to address you correctly. Like I said, there's just so much investment from a business and residential community, and now the Park District community investing in this town. And as you know, investment in a community or town is key. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kucera. Trustee Seidel.
I think this is a great project, and I am in full support.
Trustee Seidel. Trustee Zora.
I'm also in favor, and I'm happy that another commercial building is going to have a sprinkler system.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is another good example of working together with our business community to help the base in our community, and I think we're starting to see some of the results of our efforts to try to be as helpful as we can to help attract new businesses and current businesses to grow. So full support of this, and glad that we're in a position to be able to do this.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Kucera.
Trustee Kucera.
Yes.
Trustee Lautner.
Yes.
Trustee Zora.
Yes.
Trustee Seidel.
Yes.
Trustee Council.
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And thank you, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, moving on, Finance Committee. Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. The finance report this evening summarizes the village's general fund financial performance through December 31st of 2020. And at this point, we've completed 8 full months of fiscal year 2021, which began May 1st and runs through April 30th of 2021. To summarize that, fiscal year to date, general fund revenue is at 66.8% of the annual budget, and about $364,000 or 6.6% greater than the prior year. Property tax receipts are up $5,400 or 0.3% compared to the prior year. Other local taxes are higher by about $54,000 or 5.8%, due primarily to sales tax, which is up 19.3% compared to the prior year. Telecommunications tax, however, is down 20.4%, and that's been trending that way. License revenue is down about $23,000 or 7.6% from the prior year, primarily due to the postponement of vehicle and dog license sales in response to the coronavirus, which we had good resident feedback on. Permit receipts are up 33.6% or about $58,000 compared to the prior year. Intergovernmental receipts are higher by about $391,000 or 29.4% compared to last year. And that's primarily due to CARES Act funding received through Cook County. Income tax is about 0.4% higher than last year, while use tax is up about 30%. Our charges for the services are down, however, by about $47,500 or 14.7%, due primarily to lower ambulance fee collections compared to last year. And our fine revenue is about $12,000 or 10.3% higher than the prior year. And that's as a result of the fines that were increased in October of 2019. Miscellaneous revenue is at about $86,000 lower than last year due to the steep drop in interest that we have seen and the end of the NetWest reimbursement. And total general fund expenditures, excluding the transfer to the capital projects funds, are at 62.3% of the annual budget and about $121,000 or 2.3% higher than last year. The fire department expenditures are trending higher than expected due to increased personnel costs as a result of greater participation on call-outs as more people are at home and available due to COVID-19. And that concludes the finance report. With the packet included the remaining financial reports from Director Doler, which we appreciate your efforts in that area. But that concludes the finance report for this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Larry, any additions to the report?
No, sir, none.
Great, thank you. Okay, other reports. Village Clerk, Megan.
I have no report tonight, Mr. President.
Village Treasurer, Larry.
No report tonight, Mr. President.
Village Engineer, Mark.
No report tonight, Mr. President.
And our Village Attorney, Kathy.
I have no report tonight, Mr. President.
Okay, and then we have Commercial Revitalization Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you. I have 4 items to report. In December, staff uploaded the annual tax increment financing reports to the Illinois Comptroller's Office. Improvements at the Plaza 31 strip mall continue. The curb work and parking islands have been completed. Staff met on site with the contractor to discuss layout concerns and site conditions. While only the concrete curbing is completed, the entire scope is being taken into consideration to ensure compliance with the village regulations and ADA requirements. The parking lot islands will be planted this coming spring. The owner hopes to meet with staff in January this month to discuss a timeline for special use approval for the outdoor seating and possibility of seeking a variance for the monument sign. The owner has received several sign quotes. They believe the zoning requirement may be slightly too small for multi-tenant signs. 23 East 31st Street. This property has recently gone on the market and has an interested buyer hoping to open a microbrewery featuring beer made on site, bar area, light food, and an outdoor seating area. The business owner is a resident and is currently employed by a Chicago brewery and is searching to start his own business in the area. Staff has been working with the owner to help identify the necessary steps: the liquor license, business license, special use approval for outdoor seating, and permitting. The property is set to close in January, and staff will continue to help facilitate. Memorial Park tennis court renovation. Staff has reviewed the application and worked with the Park District to present a detailed application to the PZC. The required documentation has been submitted, the case is on the agenda, and appeared before the PZZ on January 19th. And that is all I have to report.
Thank you for doing that, Trustee Zora.
Thank you.
Committee and Collectors Report, motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Kucera,
Yes.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Seidel,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, moving on to my report, I just have a couple items. First, I can't wait till we get back into Village Hall. I mean, this is nice being at home, but I'd prefer to be at the Village. Julia, Jessica, myself, and Rick met with his resident, as I mentioned the other day. He's a Boy Scout, going to do his Eagle Scout. He's looking at doing a monument for COVID deaths. And he's working with Jessica and with Rick to find a location for that project. Also, Julia, again, great job. We have a new employee joining our team. We can't wait to meet her and get moving with the Assistant Village Manager's position. I have one proclamation, and it has to do with paramedic service. Our Village of Grange Park celebrates 40 years of paramedic service. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, whereas the word pandemic is paramedic is a combination of two terms, the para meaning next to and the medic meaning doctor. Whereas the Village of Grange Park officials had the foresight to determine the need for providing advanced life support services through the use of paramedics to residents over 4 decades ago. Whereas through discussions and planning with village officials, the Village Police Department, and Village Fire Department staff, the Villages of LaGrange and LaGrange Park held a special referendum in July of 1980, whereas residents of both villages voted in favor of establishing a taxpayer-funded paramedic ambulance program. whereas on January 1st, 1981, as one of the first joint ventures of this type in the state, the share of the Grange Park Paramedic Unit, Ambulance 426, became operational, providing both village paramedic level, advanced life support, and ambulance service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the members of the Grange Park Village Board duly recognize the effort and work of many who brought such life-saving services to our village on this 40th anniversary of paramedic service. Although the paramedic program and the delivery of service has transformed and evolved over those 40 years, celebrating this milestone would not be possible without the work and perseverance of so many and support from our residents. And we all know this is an extremely, extremely vital service. We're more than blessed to have the paramedics that we have. And I don't know, is Chief Ranowski, is that why you on tonight for this purpose? Or not?
Yep, just listening.
Oh, okay. Thank you for being here. Rick, Chief Angus, did you have anything you wanted to add for paramedics?
No, just if you go back in time, and a lot of that information is provided from Rick Ranowski, because he was here that whole time. I think he had mentioned earlier Western Springs maybe got started just before us, but we were, us on LaGrange, were one of the only paramedic programs in the immediate area for several years until other towns came on board with their own. So again, as the proclamation reads, the villages working together found a way to make it work. Obviously, that has changed over the years. In I think 1999, we decided to split, which began, I think, in 2000. Is that correct, Rick?
Yep.
For our own.
Yeah, March
yeah,
of
our
2000.
own. So a lot of changes and discussions took place over that time, but it would not have happened without initially getting started by, again, a joint referendum between both villages, where both village residents, the majority of them voted, to start the program. So I think it was obviously a great decision at the time.
Thank you, Chief Angus. And Chief Ranowski, you were around at the time. Give me a little bit of history. Just give me something.
Well, let's see. It was, it was kind of an amazing thing because there was a full-time fire department over in LaGrange, and there was a part-time fire department, and actually the police department was in charge of our ambulance up until the mid-'90s, and because they had run it from the beginning. They had ran the ambulance since 1970. So to have a full-time fire department working with a police department that was full-time and a part-time fire department over here and making all that work was amazing. That was 20 years worth. And really the only reason it split, and it didn't really split, but the only reason it developed into what we have today is just because of the sheer call volume. We couldn't, that one unit, you were running the tires off of that thing. And we were calling a lot of mutual aid. And so, we knew that was going to happen in the beginning. We knew at some point, one was never going to be enough. So we got that. So once we did that, there was, and I don't want to say maneuvering, but there was a lot of thought process. Geez, do we have to go back out to referendum to split this up and do this on our own? And I think the end result was, we really don't have to do that. Why don't we just maintain that? We'll back each other up, train together, buy equipment together, and that whole thing. And it's, it's been a great program. And, Tim, I don't think you were here when we split off, but just think about in the mid-'70s forcing all the police officers to be EMTs. And they were the ones that were, they were the backbone of that to begin with. And then it started shifting into the fire department because of just the progression of how that went. But just the things that getting 20 some odd police officers to be EMTs on a continual basis. And I don't want to say, you probably have to go back and talk to some of those retired police officers, but I think the day they finally announced that they sent that letter out, when Tim Shanky sent it out and said, May 1st, man, you don't have to be EMTs. They all probably went out to the local tavern and celebrated that because they just didn't have to do that anymore. And they were, and rightfully so, they were getting busier. And then the fire department took it, embraced it,
really one thing that I'll say in closing, that the one guy that was really involved and you had to, he never really liked the ambulance portion of this, but understood it, was Chief Tullis. And he really worked hard to understand it. He put a lot of trust in a lot of the people he had there, you know, the officers at the time in the fire department. And the unfortunate thing was he passed away before. He was halfway through that with me, and then he passed away. And he really never got to see the fruit of that. You know, he would have been proud of that.
Oh, thank you, Chief. And I didn't know that the police originally ran the ambulance service, so that's a little bit of history for me. Thank you. In 1970, half my board wasn't even born then, so we got to move on. Okay, public participation. Anyone care to address the board that's on the call? Okay, any new business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. And a second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And as always, everyone, thank you. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And Jessica, get that workout going.
Thank you, Mr. President.